Hey guys, it's MD87415 here with the ABTF clan. I'm not bringing anything big right now, just gonna do an overview of the secondary weapons in the game, so we'll go ahead and hop right in. First off, there's very few secondaries that I find actually worth using in the game. Start off with the machine pistols. The FMG9 is probably your best bet for secondaries if you're just not quite sure what to use. It's got a crazy rate of fire, you can dual wield it, akimbo, whatever they call it now. Um, Basically, that's probably the most solid of your secondary weapons. If you dual wield those, you can run around using those actually as your primary, get a decent amount of kills. You play multiplayer often enough, you'll find out pretty much a lot of people do that. Next up, the MP9. I haven't used this a whole lot. When I have seen people using it, it's kind of more or less same thing as the FMG9s, but for some reason, I don't know if the FMG9s are overpowered a little bit or what's going on, but just don't seem to get quite the same amount of kills and hit markers and accuracy with the MP9 as I do with the FMGs. Scorpion is a good gun. The only downside to that is that it has a slightly slower rate of fire than the FMG9. So if you choose to use these, it's best to either go with extended mags or with your akimbos. The akimbos will kind of augment that slow rate of fire. The extended mags will let you use that more as like a secondary submachine gun as opposed to a machine pistol. G18 I find to be pretty useless. It's basically a handgun with an extended magazine and a full auto modification on it. So yeah, machine pistols, FMG9s are your best bet. Feel free to try out the other ones. Let me know what you think, what's worked for you, what hasn't. Moving on, pistols, in general, I find to be completely useless in this game. Obviously, they're semi-automatic. They don't do enough damage to really justify whipping them out close range at a firefight. Some people are great with them. I personally just would rather stick to my FMG9s, which I run akimbo or extended mags on those. But let's go through those a little bit. USP 45, P99. As far as I'm concerned, they're pretty much identical. They're your standard. USP 45 is obviously a 45 caliber handgun. It's got a very controllable recoil, and you can pop off rounds fairly quickly, but the damage is limited, so you're going to have to pretty much bet on dumping a whole clip into each enemy. Same deal there with the P99. I haven't used that a whole lot. Can't offer a whole lot of extra commentary there. MP412, 44 Magnum, those are both your 6-shot revolvers. Again, semi-automatic. They have more damage than your USP 45 P99, and especially with the 44 Magnums, they're nice if you decide to go akimbo on those. 2 shots is pretty much a guaranteed kill with them, and that's 1 shot on each gun. So I mean, theoretically, you can take out 6 guys with 1 round of 1 clip, whatever they call it, of ammunition for the 44 mag. 5.7 Desert Eagle, that's getting into your heavier handguns. The 5.7 has a decent amount of recoil, also does decent amount of damage. If I were to use any pistol, this would probably be the one I would go with. Again, a lot of preference there. The Desert Eagle, Deagle, whatever you want to call it, 50 caliber handgun. Everybody heard of it before. It's of Grand Theft Auto fame, all that good stuff. Insanely high damage, 2-shot guaranteed kill, but insanely high recoil. If you plan on whipping that out, my best advice to you would be to start low and go up, because the recoil will carry you up, and if you start at the crotch, you're going to end up shooting at their neck. So that's about it as far as the guns part of it go. Like I said, best bet, FMG9. If I had to go with the second one, it'd be the 5.7. Not a pistol fan myself, but that's the one I would take. Launchers, you got a little bit of variety in here. You got your lock-on required, you got your free fires, you got your free fire or lock-on, then you got your grenade launchers. Small is the first one you unlock in the game. It is pitiful, it is useless. Some people use it just to run around and kind of clear out holes, campers. The tunnel and hard hat, it's good for that. As far as shooting down helicopters and the such, it's not really a whole lot of good. You only get 1 round of ammo, so pick your shots wisely there. Javelin. Again, 1 round, it is location or vehicle lock on. Um, this is one that I don't use it anymore because I always use the Stinger, but everybody loves to whip this out in the match and point it at the side of a building, and they get 2 or 3 kills, and people get pissed off at them. I get pissed off. I hate javelins. If you kill me with a javelin, I will be coming after you. Moving on. Anyway, yeah, you can shoot down helicopters and stuff with that, but it does have that, it launches into the air and then has actually a secondary rocket inside of it so that it will shoot back down at the helicopter or whatever location you locked onto. Stinger is your best bet for anti-air, anti-vehicle defense, any sort of that stuff. You have 2 rounds with it, which is great. It can take down, you can combine that with an assault rifle, you can take down a payload, you can take down a Reaper about 80% of the time. I mean, all your helicopters going. Your Osprey gunners, your escort airdrops, kind of makes quick work of those, especially if you're using Blind Eye Pro and Sleight of Hand, one of those two. Again, great launcher, but it is only vehicle lock on. There is no location lock on. There is no free firing with this, so just keep that in mind. XM25 is a grenade launcher, and it's unique in that you can either fire it directly at a target, or you can actually, if you ADS with it, aim down sight, and you press in your L3 button or push in on your left trigger for whatever it is on Xbox 360, it'll actually, wherever your sight is aimed at, it'll airburst at that set distance, and you can peek at it in the corner. And if you turn and aim at something else that's completely 500 feet away, as long as you don't click down that left stick again, it'll keep the same airburst distance preset. So kind of good there. I haven't used it a whole lot. I use it usually for clearing out, again, like the bunker and dome, the tunnel and hard hat, places like that where people like to hole up and wait for you to come in. M320 GLM is your standard grenade launcher. Basically, it's like the ones that you'll find underbarrel mounted on your assault rifles, except shoots a little farther and grenades have a little more boom boom to them. So that's, if you will, the basic point and shoot grenade launcher. RPG 7, that's the spam RPG. You unlock this. Last thing you unlock, it's at level 80. You get 2 rounds with it. It is free fire only. There is no lock on. This is great for the people that like to jump around and shoot RPGs and take out little clods of enemies. Good for clearing out bunkers and all that stuff. Some people get a little excessive with it, but you do your thing, I'll do mine. And that's about it for the secondaries. A couple quick recommendations for building your classes. Anything assault or your close quarters classes where you're going to be running a shoddy, an SMG, something like that. I would recommend using FMG9 akimbos or some other sort of machine pistol, because your rate of fire just won't be able to match what your enemy will have if you use a pistol, regular pistol for that. If you're running a support class with like a light machine gun or more heavily damaging assault rifle like your ACR has really high damage, I would recommend you actually go with a Stinger or a Javelin or an RPG, something that with a Stinger and Javelin you're protecting yourself from above, and with the RPG you're not necessarily protected from aerial kill streaks. It's really hard to shoot down a helicopter, but you're protected from groups of enemies that might be camping out in holes. And that's about it for tonight. I'm actually going to carry my happy little ass to bed soon, so you guys, hope you can find something to do with this. Let me know what works for you, what doesn't. If you learned anything, want to see anything else, drop a comment, subscribe, like, and thanks for watching. Bye.